Welcome to Handsthatrockcrochet with me, Kenny. Today we'll be learning to make crochet puff stitches. Crochet puff stitch, it's a stitch that is very soft and keeps you warm for whatever item you need to make. Learn to make this as you go along on your crochet journey. For this project, you need any yarn and a corresponding crochet hook. Make a magic loop. Put the yarn tail in front, lay it on your palm and roll. Cross over at the back, just like so. Use your hook to pull the back through the front. Now you've made your loop. The magic loop is similar to making slip knot, only you make the loop bigger and wider so you can put your stitches through and pull the tail at the end. When you're walking through your magic loop, make sure that you walk over your yarn tail as well. Then you know you've made this correctly. Now make a chain, just one chain, pull on the yarn on the hook, yarn over. We're going to be making the puff stitches. You have 2 loops on your hook right now. Go through the loop and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over and pull through. You need to have 10 loops altogether. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops. We yarn over, that's 6 loops on our hook. Go through the loop and pull through. 7 loops on your hook. 8. Go through the loop and pull through. You have 9 loops on your hook and yarn over, that makes 10 loops. Each time you're making your puff stitch loops, try to make sure you have even height for each of the loops. Let's count how many loops we have on our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 loops on your hook. Now, the last loop by the shaft of your hook, pull through. You need to pin, you need to hold the bottom, you need to hold your loops together so they don't get misaligned, and pull through all loops on your hook. Now you've made your very first puff stitch. Make 2 chain stitches, that's yarn over. You have 2 loops on your hook and pull through. In this magic ring, we need to make altogether 8 puff stitches. So we yarn over, we go into the space and we do the same thing again. Now what I do to help me remember, because each time when you're making these puff stitches, you need to have the same number of loops so your stitches looks even and looks the same. What I do is, whenever I pass the crochet hook through the magic ring, I count 1, then yarn over, 2, I yarn over, 3, and then yarn over, 4, and yarn over. When I pass and count 4, I know, and yarn over the last time, I know I've got 10 loops altogether. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember, we're going to pass the last loop through all the other loops. You pull through. With practice, you will get better at this. You just need to keep practicing. There is no one that is expert at anything without practicing. We've made 1, 2. If you can see from what I've done here, I have made the very first puff stitches. I have made the very first puff stitch a lot taller than the second one. This is what you need to avoid when you're making your puff stitches. Each time they have to be the same height. So I'm going to unravel the last puff stitch and do that again. Okay, now with my working yarn over, I go into the magic ring, pull through, that's 1. Now I've got the same height, yarn over, pass through, that's 2, yarn over into the magic ring, that's 3, yarn over and into the magic ring, that's 4, and I yarn over. Let's count together: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This last number 10, we're going to pass it through. Steady your work and pull through. Take your time and you get there. Make 2 chain stitches, that's 1, you yarn over, and that's 2. If you don't know any of these crochet beginning stitches, check on the icon on the screen or down below the crochet beginner series and learn to make them. 1, 2, yarn over each time, 3, that's my magic loop, yarn over, and that's 4, and pull through all loops on your hook. Chain 2, 1 and 2. We've made 1, 2, 3 crochet puff stitches. We need to make 8 all together, so we need 5 more. Into the magic ring, that's 1, yarn over into the magic ring, that's 2, yarn over into the magic ring, that's 3, yarn over into the magic ring, and that's 4. You have 4 and yarn over 10 loops all together and pull through all the loops. Make 2 chain stitches, 1 and 2, yarn over, we do that again, that's 1, 2, 3 and 4, yarn over and pull through all loops on your hook. So far we've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 puff stitches, and in between each puff stitches we've made 2 chain stitches. For this last one we're going to make 1 chain and 2 chains 4. If you're much advanced in crocheting, make 8 puff stitches and in between each 2 chain stitches and slip stitch at the top, and we see you there. But for others, we're gonna carry on. Yarn over, 2 loops on the hook. Now you hear me say 1, 2, 3, 4. This is important to help me to remember as I'm passing through the magic loop. Instead of me counting 1, 2, 3 all the way to 10, I know the first one I pass through the magic loop is 1. I yarn over, again pass through the magic loop, that's 2. Yarn over, pass through the magic loop, that's 3. Yarn over, pass through the magic loop, and that's 4. I yarn over, If you count each time, you will always have 10 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 10th one, we're going to pass it through all the other 9 loops on our hook. Steady your work and pull through all the way through, and make 2 chain stitches. Yarn over, meaning put the yarn over the hook. You have 2 loops. You always pass the last loop you've made through. That's a chain stitch. You yarn over again. You have 2 loops, pass through, and you've made 2 chain stitches. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 puff stitches. We need 2 more puff stitches. Yarn over 1 when you pass through the magic loop, yarn over 2, yarn over 3, yarn over 4, and you yarn over the last one. You pass through all 9 loops on your hook. Make 2 chain stitches. 1, 2. We've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 puff stitches. 1 more puff stitch to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over and pull through all loops. Make 2 chain stitches. 1, 2. This is how the work you've done will look like. You have your magic tail. Just pull on it slightly, and now what you need to do, you need to slip stitch into the top of the very first here. This is your first chain stitches. You're not going to slip into there. You're going to pass the crochet hook just there. You're going to pass the crochet hook just there. 1 and 2. It takes some getting used to, but keep at it and you'll get used to it. There you go. Yarn over and you pull through all loop to slip stitch. You've made your very first puff stitch circle. Later on, as we carry on building this circle, we're going to reduce the circumference of the center circle. Now pull on your loop on the hook slightly to the height you want, yarn over. We're going to carry on and make another puff stitch. We have 8 puff stitches here. The next round, which is round 2, we're going to have 16 puff stitches, meaning in each space you have, you're going to make 2 puff stitches with 2 chain stitches in between and 1 outside. I'll show you. That's 1, yarn over, 2, yarn over, 3, yarn over, and that's 4, yarn over. When you're making the very first puff stitch for this second round, you will notice that you have a loop just there. That loop is part of your magic loop, so be careful you don't put into the center of the magic loop anymore, but you pull that loop down and you make your loops to make your puff stitch. Yarn over, pull through and make 2 chain stitches, 1, 2. Yarn over, we go into the same space and make another puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over and pull through all loops on your hook. Now this time around you make just 1 chain stitch. This time around you make just 1 chain stitch. This becomes a cluster of puff stitch, 2 clusters of puff stitch and 2 chain stitches in between. Now in here we're going to make 2 clusters of chain stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. We yarn over and pass through, 1, 2 chain stitches, yarn over, 1 into the same space, 2, 3, 4, pull through all loops and make 1 chain stitch. This is what we've done so far. We have a cluster and a cluster of puff stitches. Carry on working and making your crochet until you have 16 puff stitches if you're a beginner, and then slip stitch if you are an advanced crocheter. For beginners, we carry on together, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Pull through, make 2, 1, 2 chain stitches. We have 2 loops on our hook. Into the same space we make another puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over and we pull through all loops, 1 chain at the end. If you want, you can pull on the magic loop a little bit more. Okay, yarn over, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over, pull through, 1, 2 chain stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over and pull through, chain 1. Yarn over into the next space. We're making 2 puff stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we yarn over and pull through, chain 2, 1, 2. Into the same space we'll make another puff stitch, 1, 2, 3 and 4. We yarn over and we pull through all loops on our hook, make 1 chain stitch. Last one. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, 2, 3, 4. Pull through all loops, make 2 chain stitches, 1, 2, and make another puff stitch into the same space, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over and put your loops on your hook and make 1 chain stitch. Into this we're going to make 2 clusters of, we're going to make 2 puff stitches. When you're making your work, make sure that you don't accidentally pick on one of the loops that it's coming from your puff stitch. The best way to do is spread the space out a bit, and then you can go in and make your 1, 2, 3 and 4 and make your puff stitch. Make 2 chain stitches as we've been doing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes you might get a bit distracted, so just count and check you have 10 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. We're good to go. And then we make 1 chain stitch. This is the last space we have to make our 2 chain, to make our 2 clusters of puff stitches. This is the last space we have to make 2 puff stitches into. That's 1, yarn over, 2, 3, 4. Pull through, make 2 chain stitches, 2, and then make another puff stitch into the same space. 1, 2, 3, yarn over, 4, yarn over and pull through loops, make 1 chain stitch. Now we need to slip, make 1 chain stitch, slip stitch into, not this, as I've said earlier, the very first loop, slip stitch into the very first loop, pull through. It looks a little bit funny, but what you need to do is pull on the magic loop. That means pull the tail of the magic loop. Okay. And there you have it. You're going to have, for the next round, you're going to have 24 puff stitches all the way round, meaning when you make 1 puff stitch in there, you make 2 puff stitches. 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way round. When you look at what we've done so far, you will note that we have a cluster of, you will note that we have 2 puff stitches and a space in between each. So this is how you grow your work. We have the loop and the height that we want, yarn over, we go into that space and we make our puff stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over and pull through, make 1 chain stitch because we're only making 1 puff stitch. Wherever we make our increase, that's when we need to make 2 chain stitches in between. Yarn over, we go into that place. This is where we're making 2 puff stitches into 1, yarn over, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over and pull through, make 2 chain stitches, 1, 2. Into the same space we make another cluster, 1, 2, 3, 4, pull through, and this time we'll make just 1 chain stitch, yarn over, into there we'll make a puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over, pull through, make 1 chain stitch. We're making 2 puff stitches here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's wrong. We're making 2 puff stitches there, yarn over, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over and pull through, make 2 chain stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over, pull through and make 1 chain stitch. Carry on working all the way around till you have your 24 puff stitches. Coming to the end of the 3rd round, 1, 2, 3, we yarn over. We've got to make 1 puff stitch and 2 puff stitch in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, pull through all loops, make 1 chain stitch into the last space, make 1, 2, 3, 4, pull through, 1, 2 chain stitches into the same space, 1, 2, 3, 4, pull through and make 1 chain stitch. Now you need and make 1 chain stitch, slip stitch, if you want to develop this and make it wider like I have done here, let's show you. You want to make it wider, okay? If you want to make it wider, you need to just carry on increasing when you get to the 2 puff stitches. So what you do is you slip stitch here, you're going to make a puff stitch, 1 single puff stitch, and then you make your 2 puff stitch with 2 chain stitches in the middle, make 1 chain stitch and then puff stitch, and so on. And the next round you're going to have, this is the first round, you have 8, the second round you have 16, and the third round you have 24. Then the next round will be 32, and the one will be 40, and if you want it much wider, it will be 48, and so on. So we wish you best of luck in your crochet journey. Thank you for being a part of Handsthatrockcrochet today, and thank you for having me along on your crochet journey. As always, we are always glad to have you on this channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. 1, to support us, and 2, to help the community of crochet people grow and develop. Thank you and have a great day. Bye for now.